We are often told that the greatest achievement in life is to find your soulmate, to discover that singular person who completes you, who understands your every unspoken thought, and with whom life transforms into a perpetual, effortless spring. We are programmed from childhood to chase this ideal, this ecstatic fusion we call romance, believing it to be the necessary foundation, the sacred fire upon which a durable marriage is built. We consume stories, films, and songs that assure us that true love is sufficient, that passion is inexhaustible, and that once the perfect match is made, all struggle ceases, replaced by an eternal state of bliss. This is the most pervasive, the most celebrated, and the most devastating lie in modern civilization. And according to the philosopher who looked deepest into the abyss of human motivation, Friedrich Nietzsche, this belief in romance is not the foundation of marriage, but the slow, predictable poison that systematically destroys it. The brutal truth is this: romance is the enemy of marriage, not because romance is bad, but because it is inherently unsustainable, delusional, and fundamentally opposed to the terrifying, demanding reality of long-term partnership. It is an intoxicating dream that inevitably turns to ash when the alarm clock rings, leaving the two individuals stranded not just in reality, but in bitter disappointment. Before we dissect the mechanism of this destruction, tell me, where are you tuning in from? Knowing your perspective anchors this global conversation in the reality of our shared human condition. Nietzsche understood that marriage, at its core, is a terrible test of character. A brutal forge where two incomplete individuals must attempt to create something greater than themselves, often through profound suffering and friction. But when modern couples approach this monumental task, they are armed only with the fragile, shimmering illusion of romance. Romance, as a societal construct, demands ease. It requires spontaneous combustion, emotional intensity, and a relentless focus on the superficial perfection of the initial connection. It is the overwhelming chemical attraction, the shared laughter in the candlelight, the blissful blindness to flaws, and the intoxicating conviction that this feeling, this peak experience, must be eternal. Nietzsche would call this the ultimate form of escapism, a refusal to look at the hardness of existence. When we fall in love, that we are not searching for a partner to build a fortress with. We are searching for an opiate that allows us to forget the burden of building altogether. We seek rescue, not alliance. We seek completion, not the responsibility of being complete. The fatal mistake is believing that this initial, fleeting state of intoxication is the substance of the relationship, rather than merely the ignition switch. When a person marries under the spell of pure romance, they are effectively making a promise they cannot keep, a promise that they will never change, that their partner will never change, and that the relationship will never require effort, discipline, or confrontation with reality. This is the first catastrophic failure. The foundational premise is a lie of comfort designed to avoid the necessary rigors of life. Nietzsche observed that the romantic ideal is fundamentally weak because it is rooted in idealization. When you are steeped in romantic love, you are not seeing the person standing opposite you. You are seeing a reflection of your own desires, a canvas onto which you project your highest hopes and deepest needs. The partner becomes a perfect construct, a mythical being free of pedestrian flaws, resentment, or mundane fatigue. You worship the image, not the reality. This idealization is profoundly dangerous because it ensures that the eventual, unavoidable revelation of reality will feel like a betrayal. When the passion naturally cools, when the shared silence shifts from comfortable intimacy to uncomfortable emptiness, when the partner reveals their insecurity, their financial carelessness, or their annoying habit of leaving socks everywhere, the romantically focused spouse experiences a crisis. They do not think, "This is the reality we must now face and integrate." They think, "This is not the person I married. I have been deceived. The love is dead." The marriage then doesn't collapse due to a lack of love, but due to the overwhelming presence of disillusionment. The partner is not guilty of being imperfect. They are guilty of failing to maintain the delusion. And this is where the Nietzschean concept of resentment begins to fester, the poisonous sense of resentment, rooted in the perceived failure of the ideal to meet the expectation. The couple begins to hate the reality because they were promised the fairy tale. The romantic contract is an aesthetic contract. It focuses on beauty, feeling, and immediate satisfaction. The marriage contract, by contrast, must be an ethical contract. It focuses on enduring commitment, shared responsibility, and the co-creation of value over time. The transition from one to the other is jarring, and for those armed only with the fragility of romance, it is an impossible leap. Consider the expectations placed on the married life by the romantic myth. It suggests that happiness should be constant, that communication should be intuitive, and that compromise should be easy. When these expectations are shattered by the sheer grind of raising children, navigating professional setbacks, or simply surviving 10,000 mundane mornings, the romantic view offers no tools for survival, only ammunition for blame. Romance tells you that a strong relationship should feel good, while Nietzsche would argue that a strong life, and by extension, a strong marriage, often requires feeling terrible, demanding the strength to look into the suffering and affirm life anyway. The greatest deficiency of the romantic perspective is its inherent passivity. Romance encourages us to find something, suggesting that the perfect partnership is a treasure waiting to be unearthed. This idea absolves us of the responsibility for creation. If you believe your marriage relies entirely on the magical, effortless synergy of two fated souls, you will never develop the essential virtues required for enduring partnership: resilience, strategic communication, disciplined effort, and the capacity for tragic acceptance. When the magic fades, the romantic couple sits idle, waiting for the feeling to return, and genuinely confused as to why their destiny requires work. They view the effort required to maintain the union not as a noble struggle, the very essence of a meaningful life, but as a sign of failure. The presence of conflict, of boredom, of incompatibility becomes proof that they chose the wrong person, not proof that they chose a human being, and therefore must now engage in the difficult work of joint creation. Nietzsche implored us to transcend the comfortable illusions that make us weak. The illusion of romance is precisely one of those illusions, a sugary distraction from the necessary harshness of self-overcoming. Marriage, properly understood, is not a resting place. It is a higher form of struggle, a commitment to mutual improvement that demands both partners constantly strive to become better versions of themselves for the sake of the union. The partner you marry is the crucible in which your character is tested. They are the mirror that constantly reflects your flaws, your immaturity, and your inconsistencies. Romance encourages you to smash the mirror when you don't like the reflection. A strong marriage demands you look closer, understand the reflection, and then engage in the painful work required to change the substance, not just the appearance. The delusion of the romantic ideal is so compelling because it promises effortless perfection. The truth of marriage is that it requires relentless, deliberate, and often agonizing effort. We mistake the intense, fleeting fire of initial passion for the enduring heat of shared life. The former consumes quickly and leaves nothing behind. The latter requires careful tending, consistent fuel, and the willingness to manage the smoke and the occasional painful burn. The modern romantic, obsessed with the brilliance of the spark, never learns how to build the permanent furnace. And when that furnace is required to withstand the winter of shared life, the marriage built on nothing but romantic delusion shivers, collapses, and dies a lonely death, killed not by lack of love, but by an overabundance of an impossible expectation. This foundation of disappointment leads us directly to the next crucial step. We must understand exactly what Nietzsche considered the true purpose of a higher, stronger marriage, a purpose radically divorced from happiness, comfort, or traditional romance. We must define the true meaning of partnership that is strong enough to endure the inevitable destruction of the romantic fantasy. This is a survival manual for commitment, not a fairy tale for daydreamers. To ensure you receive the second part of this critical conversation, which outlines Nietzsche's terrifying alternative to romantic love, you must secure your spot now. Lock in your commitment to understanding this brutal truth. If this perspective has already shifted how you view relationships, I need you to confirm that commitment. Comment below with the phrase, "The furnace endures." Type those 3 simple words and immediately hit the like button on this video, signaling your intentionality. Finally, subscribe to the channel. We are building a community dedicated to engaging with philosophy that is difficult, challenging, and ultimately essential for a life lived with real power, not mere illusion. The deepest, most difficult lesson is yet to come, and I guarantee you the insights waiting in the next part will redefine every relationship you have ever known. Do not miss it. It begins not with a whisper of love, but with the thunderous silence of expectation. Every culture, every romantic comedy, every wedding vow rests upon a magnificent, fragile illusion, the promise that emotional euphoria is a foundation for perpetuity. This is the brutal truth Nietzsche delivers, shattering the stained glass window of modern romance. The love you seek is not a catalyst for marriage, but the very acid that corrodes it from within. We are not discussing simple disillusionment. We are discussing a profound philosophical mistake. Modern individuals mistake the prelude for the opera. They mistake the intense, hormone-driven, ego-validating phase of infatuation, what Nietzsche might dismiss as mere biological fever wrapped in social pretense, for the rigorous, intellectual, and often painful contract of marriage. This error is catastrophic because it weaponizes disappointment. When the fever breaks, and the mundane reality of 2 flawed beings colliding daily takes root, the modern couple does not adjust their expectations. They declare the partner defective, or worse, the institution fraudulent. They fail to understand that the initial intensity was never meant to last, and that stability requires the active slaying of the romantic ideal. This concept cuts across every culture, every continent, on every epoch where sentimentality has trumped strategy in human bonding. Tell me right now, which city are you in, processing this demanding truth? The romantic impulse, when examined through the lens of Nietzsche's will to power, reveals its inherent weakness. Romance, in its purest form, seeks a merger, a dissolution of boundaries, a comforting affirmation of self through the other. It is an attempt to escape the terrifying solitude of individual existence. This craving for mutual affirmation is fundamentally a sign of weakness, a declaration that the self is incomplete and requires external validation to justify its suffering and its existence. Nietzsche, the psychologist of power, recognized that great marriages are not built on mutual weakness, but on mutual strength aimed toward a higher, shared goal. The modern couple, however, seeks the security of the herd, the comfort of the reflected gaze. They define their success not by what they achieve together, but by the intensity of their emotional dependency. The moment one partner begins to assert their individual will, to pursue a demanding project, to overcome a personal boundary, to engage in the necessary self-tyranny required for greatness, the romantic structure begins to fail. Why? Because the pursuit of individual power is perceived not as growth, but as an act of treason against the mutual weakness they contracted for. This leads directly to the pathology of mutual sacrifice. The romantic narrative celebrates the abandonment of the self for the sake of the other. We are taught that true love means losing oneself in the beloved. Nietzsche saw this as a profound betrayal of the Dionysian self, the self that says yes to life, yes to struggle, yes to becoming what one is. When partners engage in this destructive self-effacement, they cease to be 2 demanding individuals forging something enduring, and become instead 2 mirrors reflecting ever-diminishing light. They become small together, comfortable together, but utterly incapable of pushing each other toward the rigorous heights of self-overcoming. The brutal truth is that romantic expectation prevents the partners from appreciating the true, often painful, utility of the matrimonial bond. Marriage is fundamentally an intellectual agreement, a commitment to future utility and shared offspring, whether literal or spiritual. It is a long, arduous process of training 2 disparate wills to march in the same direction, often against their own immediate inclinations. The romantic couple, obsessed with present feeling, is horrified when they discover the true nature of this contract, that it often requires tolerance instead of rapture, strategic patience instead of spontaneous passion, and critical honesty instead of comforting lies. When the spell of romance breaks, and it always breaks, because no human being can sustain the illusion of cosmic perfection indefinitely, the partners are left with nothing but resentment. They look across the breakfast table at the person they once idealized and see a stranger who has changed. But the partner has not changed. They have merely shed the Apollonian mask that their romantic gaze forced upon them. The failure is not in the reality of the partner. The failure is in the partner's inability to maintain the debilitating, exhausting perfection demanded by the romantic narrative. Nietzsche understood the concept of eternal recurrence as the ultimate test of life affirmation. Could you, without flinching, accept that every decision, every suffering, every mundane day of your life must be repeated infinitely? Apply this demand to the romantic relationship. Could you endure the repetition of the initial infatuation, the subsequent emotional dependency, the petty arguments, and the inevitable decay of passion forever? The romantic ideal collapses under this weight. It relies too heavily on novelty, on first moments, on peak experiences. The healthy, sustainable partnership, the one Nietzsche might have conceded value to, is one that affirms the repetitive, demanding, often ugly reality of shared life. It is a relationship where both individuals recognize that the value lies not in the fleeting thrill, but in the sustained capacity to overcome the inertia of comfort and the entropy of familiarity. Day after agonizing day, they affirm the will to power inherent in the struggle itself. They understand that happiness is not a steady state of emotional bliss, but a temporary relief between massive exertions. In the modern context, this failure manifests as a constant, restless search for the spark. When the spark dies, the relationship is deemed dead. This is the language of the fundamentally unphilosophical mind, the mind that refuses to accept that fire must be stoked with hard, mundane labor, not simply discovered fully burning. They divorced not because the marriage failed, but because the romantic illusion that inaugurated it finally succumbed to reality. They conclude that they fell out of love, when the truth is far more damning. They simply ran out of energy to maintain the delusion. Furthermore, the romantic emphasis on emotional transparency often leads to a dangerous vulnerability, confused with intimacy. Nietzsche cautions against the wholesale stripping away of protective layers in the name of total disclosure. The wise relationship recognizes the necessary distance, the pathos of distance, which allows both souls the room to breathe, to grow, and to maintain their necessary individual sovereignty. When partners demand to see the other's soul fully exposed at all times, they are not seeking intimacy. They are seeking total psychological control, and ultimately, confirming their own insecurity. This mutual psychological consumption destroys the very spirit necessary to sustain the bond. It is a profound psychological error to believe that two people become one in marriage. Nietzsche insists that two complete, demanding, and self-aware individuals must strive for a union that transcends both. The marriage, in this view, is a third entity, a superorganism designed to launch both partners toward their greatest potential. Romance, conversely, encourages a sinking to the level of the least ambitious partner, a mutual settling for stability over transcendence. The inevitable outcome for the romantic marriage is a quiet, comfortable nihilism. They have achieved the socially approved goal, the partner and the house, the stability. But they have sacrificed the intellectual and spiritual tension that makes life worth living. They become content in their mutual mediocrity, defining their shared existence by the absence of conflict rather than the presence of aspiration. They confuse peace with fulfillment. They have chosen the passive acceptance of the last man over the demanding struggle of the Übermensch. This dynamic reveals why the most potent conflicts in long-term relationships often stem not from major betrayals, but from the cumulative effect of small, unacknowledged resentments, the slow poisoning that results from denying the self's necessary will to power. One partner resents the curtailment of ambition, The other resents the emotional demand required to keep the illusion functioning. Neither can articulate the true problem, because the true problem is the cultural lie they both swallowed whole. That intense feeling is a substitute for hard, strategic work. The couple must pass through the wreckage of their romantic ideal. They must survive the emotional winter when the hormones die down and the illusions fall away. Only then can they begin the true work of marriage, which is the forging of a purpose that justifies the pain of commitment. Most, tragically, give up the moment the temperature drops, concluding that the original magic was the only thing of value. They fail to realize that the true value, the durable alloy, is only created in the crucible of intellectual understanding and shared objective. The marriage that survives is the one that consciously chooses to dismantle the architecture of romance and replace it with the steel framework of strategic partnership. This truth is demanding. It requires you to rethink every narrative you have consumed about love. You recognize the courage required to present this confrontation. Prove your commitment to genuine intellectual honesty by engaging with this concept. In the comments section, affirm the Nietzschean goal by writing this exact phrase: "The highest purpose of marriage is not happiness, but mutual elevation." We insist on your participation, demonstrating that you value this rigorous approach to life's most serious commitments. Subscribe now, press the like button, confirm that you demand substance over superficiality, and prepare yourself. Because in the final part, we will discuss the practical tools Nietzsche offers, the dangerous wisdom that allows you to rebuild strength from the ruins of romantic expectation, transforming vulnerability into leverage and dependency into destiny. The final confrontation is coming. We have navigated the treacherous waters of the romantic myth. We have seen how the poisonous sweetness of the initial illusion, based on narcissistic projection and willful blindness, inevitably turns sour the moment reality demands accountability. The first two parts established the disaster, the collapse of the lover into the spouse, the agonizing realization that the object of your desire is merely human, fallible, and often annoying. But the final, brutal truth that Nietzsche forces us to confront is not the recognition of the partner's flaws. That is merely the symptom. The definitive destruction of marriage comes from the failure to find the adequate philosophical response to this realization. Before we step into this final abyss of truth, I want to know where this confrontation with reality is taking place. Tell me, which city is hosting your pursuit of meaning today? Let the geography of our shared struggle be known. The sickness that destroys the marriage unit after the death of romance is a disease called resentment. It is the spiritual poison that Nietzsche identified as the signature ailment of the weak, the inability to affirm life, or in this case, the relationship, exactly as it is. The partners, having failed to sustain the lie of perfection, begin to blame each other for the sheer difficulty of existence. They resent the friction. They resent the compromise. They resent the simple, unbearable weight of the other person's reality. They look at their spouse and see not a companion, but a mirror reflecting their own disappointment, a disappointment they project outward and label as the partner's fault. This is the great betrayal of the self in marriage. Instead of accepting the difficulty of the union as the necessary forge for a higher kind of love, a love built on mutual creation, shared goals, and the overcoming of conflict, they retreat into a passive-aggressive warfare designed to punish the other for the loss of the comfortable fantasy. The husband resents the wife for not being the ideal mistress he imagined. The wife resents the husband for not being the flawless provider of emotional stability she demanded. This resentment, fueled by the memory of a perfection that never existed, hollows out the core of the relationship. It becomes a relationship not of shared destiny, but of shared accusation. The romantic contract is essentially this: you complete me, and therefore, you are responsible for my happiness. When that contract inevitably defaults, the resulting debt is paid in bitterness, contempt, and chronic dissatisfaction. Nietzsche understood that true strength, the foundation of any sustainable union, requires the radical affirmation of suffering and imperfection. The brutal truth is that your marriage is not designed to make you happy. It is designed to challenge you. It is a crucible meant to test your will to power. Most marriages fail this test because they prioritize psychological comfort over existential meaning. They seek solace when they should be seeking purpose. They demand ease when they should be embracing the noble struggle. And when the struggle appears, when the mundane and irritating truths about the partner become undeniable, the modern individual, weakened by the myth of effortless fulfillment, simply collapses. They begin searching for a new partner, a new projection, a new source of the initial, intoxicating lie, only to repeat the same self-destructive cycle. The only antidote to this destructive resentment, the single philosophical act that can save a marriage from terminal decay, is Amor Fati, the love of fate. This is the highest affirmation of life, and when applied to marriage, it becomes the commitment to love the partner not despite their flaws, but including their flaws. It is the ability to look at the entire history of the relationship, the ecstatic highs and the grinding lows, the moments of mutual cruelty, the unavoidable mistakes, and still say, yes, I will it to be this way, and I will it to be this way again. This is the terrifying standard of the Nietzschean marriage. It is the willingness to embrace the eternal recurrence of the union. Imagine, at the most difficult moment, a demon whispering to you, this life, this exact partnership, this sequence of conflicts and compromises, you will have to live through it an infinite number of times. Every irritation, every argument, every quiet frustration will return to you eternally. The man or woman who can genuinely answer yes to that demon, the one who can affirm the totality of their shared existence, because they have found a meaning that transcends mere happiness, is the one who has truly overcome the romantic disease. If you cannot affirm the eternal return of your current relationship, if you are living a marriage you would not choose to relive infinitely, then you are living a lie, and that lie is eroding your soul far more effectively than any external force. Nietzsche challenges the traditional purpose of marriage. It is not about children, although children are a product. It is not about social stability, although it provides that. It is fundamentally about the creation of a higher self, the bridge to the Übermensch. The partner is the necessary friction, the perfect grindstone against which you must sharpen your own being. The frustration you feel with them is merely the unassimilated lesson they represent. When you cease fighting the partner and begin confronting the weakness within yourself that their behavior triggers, you begin to transform the marriage from a prison into a laboratory of self-mastery. The great deception of romance is that it encourages pity for oneself and pity for the partner. Pity, for Nietzsche, is a destructive force, a drain on the will. When the marriage falters, people often pity their partner for their failures, or pity themselves for having chosen so poorly. But strength requires the removal of pity. It requires the relentless demand that both you and your partner achieve your highest potential, not by conforming to societal norms, but by becoming the unique individuals you are meant to be, side by side. The mature Nietzschean understanding of love is not a soft, comforting feeling. It is a hard, demanding intellectual commitment to the growth of the other person, even when that growth causes pain. It is the recognition that the partner is not your possession, but a fellow traveler on the path to self-overcoming. This radical acceptance, this amor fati applied to the relationship, is what transforms the inevitable destruction of the romantic fantasy into the necessary foundation for a meaningful bond. The marriage that survives the brutal truth is the one that consciously moves beyond the selfish desire for happiness and enters the territory of mutual creation. They ask, what meaning can we generate together that we could not generate alone? They focus on the shared project, the shared vision, whether it is a business, a family legacy, an intellectual pursuit, or simply the daily discipline of maintaining integrity in the face of chaos. This shared will to power, or this conscious decision to use the relationship as a tool for elevation rather than a cushion for retreat, is the final, definitive answer. If you are trapped in a relationship built on resentment, you are trapped because you are clinging to the ghost of romance. You are demanding that your partner be a god and punishing them daily for their humanity. But the path to a strong, enduring union is the acceptance of that humanity. It is the affirmation of the struggle, the welcoming of the conflict, and the commitment to create, through sheer effort, a love so robust and self-aware that it could withstand the eternal return. This is not easy. This is not comfortable. But it is the only way to transform the brutal truth of romance into the powerful meaning of marriage. You are witnessing the philosophy of self-mastery in real time. This wisdom is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who are ready to build a life of truth and relentless strength. Affirmation creates reality. Commit to the struggle right now. State your philosophical resolve in the comments below. Use the phrase, "We affirm the struggle." You are prioritizing the brutal truth over comfortable lies. Ensure you continue receiving the tools for self-mastery. Subscribe to this channel and like this video now. This commitment ensures you join a community dedicated to existential strength. We deliver the foundational strategies necessary for living a higher life. Next time, we turn our gaze from the delicate and destructive battlefield of the heart to the cold, unforgiving architecture of modern civilization. Chai. Prepare yourself for the philosophical strategy session on the hidden forces that are secretly destroying your potential and hijacking your destiny. You will receive the practical weaponry to dismantle the societal illusions that hold you back. Prepare for the next level of intellectual combat.